Welcome back, everyone. This is day 2 of stage 3 here in OWCS. I'm joined by Jack and by Costa, and we're in for a treat with our second match here in the NA region. So let's dive straight into the group bracket. Group B is where we're heading now, and it's going to be another winners match. NRG Shock will be taking on TSM, and I'm personally very excited because there was so much drama when it comes to like the revamping of both of those rosters, because both of them made some additions, but like let me rewind. Let's roll it back. Let's start with NRG Shock. Listen, all right, students of the game, obviously, you know, turning NRG Shock in their debut. Dallas, they get eliminated immediately. Sach, very hard. Didn't qualify for EWC, but they loaned some of their players to various teams in the competition, and then their tank Infected just decided to stay with the respective new home, which that's rough. I know, the betrayal is real. And then NRG Shock was basically left 2 weeks to try out new main tanks. But then suddenly Kellen enters the scene. Where has he been?
Kellen.
Actually, so that's obviously a super fun storyline. But then also we have them benefiting from the disbanding M80, right? So one man's trash is another man's treasure, and now I just called the players trash. That was not the phrase to use here, but you know the idea. Yeah, you get the idea. No, they've got some really good players for their roster, and TSM on the other hand, you know, great to see TSM coming back into Overwatch after 8 long years. They signed the Timeless roster towards the end of our last stage, and that's also, by the way, the Timeless's new roster is the roster that kicked them out of the Face It League Season 1, so that's funny. Love that for them. Yeah, they also made some changes, of course, to the roster, but now here's the drama. Ahead of these Stage 3 Swiss stage, Nightmare actually bought out CJ's contract with just hours, literally, before the matches started. And then TSM signed Renko from Fluffy Aimers, which is now Fluffy Dreamers, to replace him. And that indirectly actually led to the disbandment of Pirates and Pajamas after their flex support, Divinity, already moved over to FA to fill Renko's old role. So there you have it. It's like, this is a whole like soap opera in itself. That was a lot.
That was a long mid-season break. There was a lot that happened.
Long.
And the only question I have is, why is Lep Zaya? That's the only question that I came out of that whole story.
What about PG on Hog?
That's a big takeaway. You know what? I'm here for it.
No, I love that. That was, honestly, that could be a soap. You could turn that into a TV show, you know, with a lot more drama and, you know, that kind of stuff. I would watch it. I would watch it.
Yeah, emotions will be boiling over.
It's
love drama.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Coronation Street or Emmerdale or something, but it's OWCS in the big gap between Stage 2 and Stage 3. I'm here for it, actually.
It honestly felt like a
goes crazy
new season at this point. I'm wondering where the community is taking this one, so if we can take a look at the community polls.
This has got to be close.
Make a guess.
May I take a stab at it? I honestly... I have to think NRG Shock have gotten better with the additions, right? You know, they got Kellen... Okay, never mind. Apparently, chat disagrees with me. The addition of Tree and Ultraviolet... Oh, okay, never mind. I'm getting in my producers. It's the opposite, okay? So they were trolling me. So just everybody calm down. No, people don't believe in TSM as hard as we thought. So, you know, but TSM, you guys got this. I believe in you. I believe in the 89%.
But they're home wreckers.
We're really getting into this soap opera stuff.
I love a good redemption story. You know, they realize the mistakes that they've made, and now they're here to atone for their mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah,
the redemption arc
for them.
I can't wait for Stage 3, OWCS, the redemption arc. TSM versus NRG Shock in the group stage.
In the group stage. That's where it all started. Yeah, this might be one to call home about. I'm definitely going to tell my grandkids all about it once the time comes. Very excited. Very excited to see what those two teams bring to the table. Just composition-wise, where do you think either of the team is going to take it? Do you feel like we have a compositional mismatch on our hands potentially, maybe?
I don't think so. I think this is pretty cut and clean here. I think with NRG Shock, their additions too, they're pretty flexible in whatever they can play. Obviously, Attack came over from Fnatic. Kellen can fill a variety of roles too. Like, this team and the roster is too deep for any kind of compositional mismatch here. I mean, TSM, maybe they got a couple of question marks above their heads, but like, they're pretty known quantities in their own right. Rocket and Chopper especially. I know Jake has been singing both of their names quite heavily over the last like year and saying they are the next upcoming DPS players to hit the scene. So maybe this is a good kind of litmus test for them to see how well they're going to do it up against NRG Shock, who especially going from the results from last stage slot in NA, like PG, household name at this point. Your boy's got the best cut around. Like Tree, just an insane beast that was coming up and didn't quite make the Overwatch League before it kind of disappeared, but now is really in full force. I mean, Kellen and Attack, it was funny because we spoke about this before at the broadcast, Scott. You were like, wait, Kellen's here. I'm like, yeah, Kellen.
Yeah.
He's hanging out, man. He's doing well.
Out of left field, Kellen is just playing for NRG Shock, you know. Yeah,
it's pretty sick.
You know, I didn't expect it, but I love to see it. Honestly, the storyline that I'm curious for this matchup, as we do see a compositional matchup, is Timeless. Now TSM has a lot of experience playing together, while NRG Shock, they've made a lot of roster moves. Will the experience of playing together trump a lot of the individual skill that the NRG Shock team has picked up?
Love me some Alari. And Gore was seeing at least a little bit there. Thank you, Rack Attack.
My God.
I bet Rack Attack's hoping for Life Weaver buffs next patch.
No,
Silly Hero Season, I think I saw him tweet.
Oh, really? So it's Rack Attack's time, so maybe we should invest in the NRG Shock stocks right now. But you can see them poking and prodding. They have a very poke-heavy comp with the Ashe and the Alari, but TSM's more than happy to just sit here and wait this out.
Yep, looks like it. Oh! PG getting a large amount of damage down the IC with the Dynamites. They're slowly making their way in. NRG Shock are now getting dove in the backline. PG under a little bit of fire there. Throws a Dynamite towards the Echo, but it's Lep and Icy that come up with kills initially. Rack Attack, PG dead. Icy just trying now to get himself back to the point. Put some pressure there. Get some free percentage points. And with UV dead, that's NRG Shock making a swift exit.
TSM do a great job of setting up the dive. They get forced out of the main part of the point, but they just make the dive from all the other directions. They have so much verticality that they don't have to attack them front on. They get into the backline of NRG Shock, and they just didn't have the sustainability to stay alive. And it's going to force some swaps here from Shock. PGE goes over to the Cassidy, a hero that can potentially deal with the aggression from TSM better.
It's rough, though. I mean, you're running into Renko's rush. You want to imagine they're going to use that pretty early, knowing that the supports from NRG Shock are not too far behind on their ultimates.
They don't have to do anything. They can just wait on this point. They're getting the percentage points, and with the Alari, Rack Attack's just, you know, waiting here for the pylon for the dive, but TSM's just happy to do nothing, but now the rush comes.
There's the rush. Lep's already dead, though. Now the boost onto PG. There's the duplication onto the Winston. Now PG has to deal with not one, but two tanks. Unfortunately for PG, he is going to survive with 7 HP. NRG Shock, they're going to come back. Although King just finishing off PG, a bit of an overstep there. You thought maybe you want to get healed up first. Point has been flipped though, as NRG Shock are in control, but TSM are going to make it tough for them to come back in now. I see with a quick remake there, Scott, and Rocket now holding the doors.
Yeah, NRG felt like they had that teamfight won, but they tried to get aggressive to punish the rest of the players for TSM, and they were just able to hold on, get a couple of great picks, and all of a sudden, only 11% on the board for Shock. Maybe a bit of a mistake.
As close as it could be, right? I mean, that's a pretty almost instant flip. Kellen with the Primal Rage. Be engaged though from Lep. Yeah, PGE again the target for TSM. Primal Rage from Kellen just trying to do some work in the backline, but look at that, everybody just jumping away. So hard to lock down this comp, like everybody has mobility on the side of TSM. Kellen luckily though kills Renko. No Suzu, no swift step away. Kellen finds 3 kills after the Primal Rage ends. There you go, okay. Kellen is back on the field. Scott's surprised, but I am not. Kellen is still got it.
Definitely still has it. Honestly, TSM, I liked the idea of the aggression, but the beat was so early, and that did give them their first pick, but they didn't have the sustainability to continue through that fight, so maybe a little bit too aggressive. But the big thing for NRG Shock now is they have a lot of ultimates coming up. They're going to have 4 ultimates, both support ultimates, so they should be able to sort of mitigate the aggression from TSM, and that's why TSM trying to force their way to the point from the outside.
Got a pulse bomb. Oh, speaking of which, Trees goes a little bit wide. 2 traces on the field now for TSM. What's more scary than that? I'm not sure. Recall on Rocket still with a pulse bomb in hand. Doesn't have to worry about defense matrix either. Can just weave this one into the backline, but no, throws it into the shrubbery. Shrubbery's dead, sure, but a lot of that damage got blocked by Rack Attack shield. Nano boost on the Brig. I mean, that's all you can really use if you're NRG. Not many tools left in the tank anymore as Tree ends up going down. Now PG once again under a lot of pressure. A beautiful Bionade into the front line there. Rocket Icy Lep in trouble. PG dodging, bobbing, weaving around Icy, but Icy's got the micro missiles to follow it up. And TSM now looking at OT and maybe just taking this first round right underneath the noses of NRG.
NRG Shock used so many resources and ultimates to just sort of start that fight. The TSM outlasting them once again, and Icy's just taking names. Tree falls. Oh, Rack doesn't get there. And that'll be first round of TSM. Hey, maybe the graphic was right. Maybe we should have believed in the graphic.
Was right. Yeah, true. That was a very cleanly played round there. I mean, PGE, normally kind of the superstar in the server on the hit scan, but didn't really have too many big flashy pop-off moments. And that's most of the time just TSM just kind of jumping on him. As soon as they picked up the Ash, I mean, use that coach gun, you're dead. You're history. TSM's comp just way quicker at executing.
And honestly, it felt like from just that round, it did lean into what I was saying, where TSM, they were just playing better together. The way that they push and pulled in those team fights, able to live through disadvantages, really just caught NRG Shock off guard. It felt like NRG should have had more advantages than they did, but kind of squandered them just due to some great working and utilizing of the macro game from TSM. And now, Mauga May Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Moira. Wow, this is
a comp.
I was gonna say unethical, but that seems like a little harsh. But
no, this is an unethical comp.
Okay, I'm glad Jack said it, not me. I didn't say it.
This is war crimes. War crimes. The composition. There you go. Everybody's got a lot of sustain, a lot of sustainability, and you just want to run at them and shoot them, Scott. It's the WM1 comp. There you go. Maybe not the war crimes comp. It's WM1.
And you can see they just want to go with the wall, TP into it, and just go hyper aggressive. Like, how do you do anything as Shock against that? Because every single one of these heroes on the side of TSM has a way to save themselves, get aggressive. So any one player that the Shock decide to focus on, they can just use a cooldown to stay alive. And that's difficult because TSM's just going to keep running at you just like this.
This is silly. Look at PG. PG needs to get out of there.
Needs to get off Ash, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. Where'd you go if you're PG in this instance? Because, PG normally hit scan player, Cassidy, Ash, Widow, anything, all the above kind of thing, Soldier.
Cassidy's okay. They obviously have a May already on the field. It's just going to be really difficult to stay alive. Honestly, Reaper of your own, just something that's going to allow him to step up but not be punished as soon as he gets in. You can see them trying to bait this wall out for the choke. But Rocket, even with the wall, has the Blizzard.
Oh, no, a little bit of a forward wall there. Oh, straight through the window. Have some of these apples. Bob's coming in. Here you go. Now Bob's time to play. They actually managed to kill Icy. That Winter doing a lot of work there for Ultraviolet and the rest of NRG Shock. Rack Attack trying for a little cheeky boop. Sees the Reaper hitting the TP. Still, they haven't won this fight, Scott, and TSM still control the point. It's been a hard-fought one. And again, I want to bring up that point that you just made at the top of this map, right? TSM... so well drilled, so well organized, and they're playing as a collective, and that shows how much experience they've had together as a team. The comp they're running right now, you have to have that. Because if one piece is out of whack, you are just going to get rolled over.
And yeah, you actually saw the reason they lost that last fight is Rocket's wall was just a little off. So if he can clean that up, you can see he's looking for PG. Wants to find any way to isolate a target. Oh, beat engage once again.
Wow, yeah, they're going to split the entirety of NRG Shock there. Blizzard now for NRG Shock with the spin to win. King in the front line. Everybody taking damage from that one. And now PG in a whole heap of hurt. I mean, look at that. Everybody from TSM, each one of them can chase after PG, chase after a high damage dealer. It's really rough for PG on this Asher right now. And now they're just playing with their food just a little bit. Nice damage there from Lep on the Lucio as the point is going to get flipped.
Really well played by Lep. Gets 2 kills on the outside, also isolates Tree. Do a phenomenal job of just getting in. The only thing TSM need to do is get in, right? Because if you can get in, get on top of them, there's not much that the Shock team are going to be able to do sustain through it. No ultimates. They have the window, but you can see they're just so afraid of this wall as soon as they try and get through this choke.
They are through. Venture pick up by Tree, but PG's already dead. It's a window, but it's a solo one. Ultraviolet is just firing through it, and look at those crit markers from Icy. That's about it. I think that's pretty much over now, Scott. I mean, Rocket said sure, but again, touch the spawn door challenge.
Wait,
luckily, though, rack attack. He got the flip, Scott. He did, but he's dead.
Yeah, maybe they can get some good store with Venture or Tree, but it's going to be so difficult. PG with a Bob, just throwing Hail Marys here.
Yes, Scott's trying to come up with answers, but unfortunately the test is a little bit too hard for him. Kellen does manage to get the touch. He can continue to do so, still not getting focused down, but classic wrecking ball at this point. I'm going to swing around the point. Please, team, do something, get kills, or we're going to lose. And unfortunately, the map is over. TSM gonna clean up NRG Shock, a 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. Maybe the graphic was right in the end. But what a fantastically strong start. I mean, NRG Shock just looked, and this is like not on their player value at all, but like the name value of the team, they looked a little bit lost, which is extremely uncharacteristic of the squad as a whole and the players themselves too.
Yeah, I think that I really like the idea of the Malga as much as, I questioned, some of the, the authenticity of it and, how much I like it as a comp. It did exactly what it needed to do. Those types of things throw the opposition team off balance. You can see NRG Esports, they just didn't really know what to do. They're just sort of getting stuck at the choke. It felt like every time they were having to use cooldowns earlier, they just weren't able to get PG activated, who is really a core part of this team. So TSM showing that experience and that teamwork and taking a very convincing first map over NRG.
Yeah, I was surprised to see if we were gonna have Malga more in the meta, because D.Va kind of deals with Malga pretty easily. After the cardiac overdrive change, it being very, very short now, and then D.Va's Matrix getting kind of buffed to high heaven, in all honesty. I can't imagine Malga kind of fitting in the composition, but you play the comp so differently now. You're not just like only playing on the cardiac overdrive. You're there just to be a wall, and then your ult just wins a team fight straight up, and you just set your whole team up to kind of just push in on these kind of Mei walls. But yeah, Lijiang Tower, it was just kind of the perfect one for them to go to if they had this in their back pocket the whole time, right? If they went to Gardens, do you think we would have seen this? I don't particularly think so.
No.
But again, this kind of shows how powerful TSM are going to be in this group stage if they kind of keep this up. The flexibility here, complete comp swap, is super clean.
Yeah, and it's important to have bags of tricks like that when you're playing in these types of tournaments, because if you show a little bit of unpredictability, it's very difficult for people to prepare for you and understand what you're going to do, and then you can take rounds, you can take maps from teams that are potentially favored like this one because you're just playing well. But even outside of just the Malga composition, the D.Va play looked really solid. The way that they were diving with the D.Va and the Echo, the way that they were setting up their dives was very clean. So it becomes difficult for NRG Shock as well to go to a map and choose a map, because it's like, do we really want to go to Flashpoint? What if they play Malga again, right? Maybe do we want to go more to a push, a map where there's more pushing and pulling? It gets very convoluted and complex to think about it. So if you're NRG Shock, you need to reset, find what you want to play, and sort of, I guess, regroup after what felt like a very tilting first map.
Okay, so if we're going on that line then, if we're going to say, okay, PG, we want him to play Ashe and Ashe only, what map do you go to if you want to play that pick?
You have to go towards your Dorados, your Icon Bowls, right? We just saw that from the Toronto Defiant. Those are maps that you can't really play these fast ground compositions. You need to be able to provide high ground. You need to be able to set up. You can get PG in these high grounds in a situation that you're going to have to force the opposition to dive you, which, as we just said, TSM have shown proficiency in, but it could be more difficult to do on a different map where, you can sit him up on the high grounds and the rest of the team can't follow up as easily.
All right, we'll have to wait and see where we go. I do much prefer this kind of loser's pick and any kind of mode too. It's been forever, I think literally forever, since we've had kind of an open map pool in that regard. So it's nice to see, we're not just going to hybrid as our next, then Flashpoint, then push, etc. You can kind of take it anywhere. There's a little bit more. You can kind of focus your team as well on these kind of maps that you're able to kind of pop off on these high grounds, like Dorado. There you go, like you said. So yeah, NRG Shock going here, PG on the Ashe, maybe a little bit of Widowmaker, which would be kind of fun. And then we'll see what TSM want to bring out as well.
Yeah, and this is where the mind games come in from the loser's pick, as you said. You're able to choose this, and then if this does go towards NRG, you get this back and forth of the teams choosing maps that really suit their style. gives better series, more competitive series. So love to see it coming in here for OWCS, and I love to see this pick from NRG Shock. I just talked about it. I think this plays into the way that they're looking to play, even with the Alari almost, right? You said there's a couple of pylon spots that you can set up. It can be difficult to do. Yeah, you can do it. It can be difficult against a really solid dive, but if they know how to play it and they know their ways and they know the pylon spots because they've been watching Jaws' tips and trick videos on OWCS, they can make it work.
So true. So true. Just put it on one of the cactus and you'll be fine. Yeah, I think there is a big possibility that you could see the Alari here. Also, it's worth mentioning too, NRG Shock have a big roster. 3 DPS, 2 tanks,
yeah, very true.
Right? So we might see some substitutions. Obviously not in this one. It's going to be the same 5. Tree, PG, Kellen, UV, and Mr. Rack. But TSM on the offense, NRG Shock on the defense. There we go. Yes, I wanted to see this. PGE on the Widow, and then UV on Ana, Rack on the Alari.
Interesting. Alari, Brig. But the thing about this that I think is really interesting from TSM is Chopper's not in. You know, Chopper and I have been beefing for a long time. He doesn't know we're beefing. I'm beefing with him because he boomed me out of the Timeless Trials way back when. So, you know, King and I, you know, I'm surprised to not seeing him because outside of our beef, he's a phenomenal hit scan. He's been so good.
Really?
But King is coming in to play the Widowmaker here. It makes me wonder if they want King for the flexibility of being able to go over to an Echo if things don't work, you know? So it gives you the options if the Widowmaker duel isn't paying off.
Ooh, almost hit the Wisp shot there. That was close.
Yeah, he's actually not even going to start on the Widow.
Echo.
Yeah.
Echo is so strong in this meta too. Just how powerful tanks are. Like, it's just such a powerful dupe. Winston, D.Va especially. Like, I mean, we had a game the other day, Scott, where we had Echo on the other team, 2 D.Vas dupe, and I cannot do anything. I cannot shoot.
Yeah. It just gets so hard, and I'm curious to see how PG is going to do with trying to hold this space, because he's got to be careful of the dive bombs from the Echo just sort of hovering over the ruse, coming down, assassinating you with a little bit of follow-up, because TSM, because they don't have that long-range hit scan presence of not playing a Widowmaker, they really need to just set up their dives, take as much space as you can, and then go. You just see Icy's bubble placed down there. That's a window in which they're not able to go aggressive as they wait for the rest of the team to show up, but you can see King really wants to fight for this position.
Oh yeah, that was quite lucky that PG was mid-grapple as he took the shot on King. Such a nice position though, but like you said, you want to take every single inch possible and then go in for a full-on 5-person dive. Slowly but surely making it, but they are just bleeding time at this point because NRG Shock don't need to do anything.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, PG is more than happy, completely safe, sitting on this back high ground. You can see he's just standing in the open because there's no one on the side of TSM who can apply any pressure unless they set up an effective dive. And now they have to throw in the nano boost to get Icy in.
Pulse bomb from Tree going a little bit wide. Icy nanoed on Rack. Still has to deal with that armor and, yeah, has to back out. UV and Rack can just sit there against Nano Winston. Good luck. And Kellen the Felon, oh, he's going in. Criminal things in the back line with that King going down. So low, doesn't matter. And then PG. Oh, what a shot onto Rocket. Oh, Ringo goes down too.
Another one.
PG is what I'm saying. His Widowmaker, oh, it's just a wonderful thing to look at.
And this is what we were talking about with the map dependency to play around PGE, right? Put PG in a position where he can hit the hit scan, and you can see TSM is finding it incredibly difficult to get into the fight to be able to put pressure on. Icy got a nano and then also had to primal to even try and get close to PGE, and even then wasn't able to punish him, and PG gets the double kill. So that's a lot of ultimates out the window here for TSM, so they're running out of options with only 90 seconds remaining.
Duplication coming up though for King. He's only 5% away, Scott, so here we go. PG looking again. No bubble for Icy either. It's going to be a hard-fought battle getting across. PG just sending out the 20% shots. I mean, why not? You're focusing Icy down. Icy now has to back off. Nano boost in. Kellen in the backline once again. Just dodging around Lep. Lep ends up falling to Tree. Was looking one way at Callum. Tree was in the other direction. And that's your rally gone, Scott.
I think he was greeting, didn't want to have to use the rally, thought that it was only the Winston who was going to be pumping out the damage. The trade back onto Tree gives TSM here a window where Lep is going to be back and Tree is not going to be here, so they're going to take that window and they have the nano boost.
Oh, look at him. Oh, what an angle! That's my Dark Lord. UV down, Renko 2 is a trade. 4-on-4 now. Duplication from King, not getting anything. Tree able to chase it down with the help of Lep, who popped the rally. You don't need heals when you got that overhealth. Kellen and PG coming up with another couple of kills, and with only 20 seconds to go, I mean, with TSM, they're not in this fight. They've got a nano boost, which they wanted to deploy to maybe win that next one, but that's the only tool that they have now.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult. They're going to have to use these cooldowns and this ultimate probably to just touch the point and get position. But now PG is going to be completely free to sit back here, take shots. Someone needs to get on this man, otherwise he's going to rip your team's heads off.
Yeah, no C9, Rose isn't here, all good. Now boost on to Icy. Just a couple of headshots set in. I mean, he's already dead. Damage. PG, what was that? 1, 2, 3 headshots almost? Done and done. PG down, finally. Rocket takes him out. Kellen's still in this fight, though. A lot of sticky bombs and a lot of damage, but UV and Rack are on the case. However, unfortunately for the rest of their team, they are falling thick and fast. TSM are finally making their way through onto this first point. Icy's nearing this primal rage. That's a lot of sticky bombs. Surprised UV didn't die just to that, but it is Rocket's swift blink smack will take out the Ana, and there we go. Struggle street indeed for TSM, but they still managed to make it done. OT. And now 2.5 minutes to move to second.
Just by the skin of their teeth. PG is going to switch over to the Ashe. I like this decision. Widowmaker can be very difficult to get angles here because there's so many flank routes. So play the Ashe, play around your team a little bit better. So we'll see how that'll go. But TSM used so much of their time bank just on that first point. The saving grace they do have is they got Icy with the Primal Rage, they got King with the duplication. They should have the tools to be able to dislodge NRG Shock from the high ground.
They got the tools, but UV's got the nano. Tree of the pulse too, can't count out that. Can be a difference maker. Look how far back UV is sitting as well. Really nice position. It's going to be tough for TSM really to get on top of UV. Curious who King goes for the dupe. He's just gliding over the roof right now. Spots UV, trying to go for the silent assassination. That's a lot of damage. Big Bionade in the back. Only hits one in the end, but where's the follow-up? UV shrugs off the anti as King recoils. Same with Icy, who is also antied on the approach. So that duplication got all zero space there for TSM.
It did at least force the nano boost out of Ultraviolet just to keep PG alive, so that's a tool that Kellen will not have in his back pocket to be able to go aggressive. Pulse Bomb goes onto Icy, I believe that, and the nano was returned in kind.
Yep, there's the nano primal rage. Rack attack just trying to save UV. I think UV needs too much saving, to be very honest here. Sleep dart miss, but it's all good. That stun from the rally made sure Icy had to get out of there, and unfortunately, as he was trying to escape, PG followed up with a kill. Only a minute to go. These kills are going to be deadly, Scott. They cannot afford to lose any more members here, but King actually comes up with 2. How and where? Tree PGE dead. Nice sleep onto Rocket too. UV does manage to come up with that kill. It might buy TSM a little bit of space. King's double kill there went absolutely massive.
Yeah, the space is the only thing they might be able to get out of it, but the team's coming back so slowly. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get anything of it. No ultimates in the bank. King maybe coming up with a duplication, but you saw last time, it's just so difficult to do anything. The backline of the NRG Shock is anchored on this high ground, and what do? You need your team to get up there, but Tree's already taken out Rocket with 12 seconds remaining.
Oh, a little bit disrespect there from PG, jumping down to low ground, deploys the Bob. It's a 6-on-5 now. That laser beam just isolating UV, and a duplication onto the Ashe as well. A free Bob if King gets some damage in here. Has to use that coach gun to get away from the ascending members of NRG Shock as Kellen has to jump away. Still, once again, narrowly avoiding death. Manages to get out of there, refuel his health bar, and maybe get sent in with a nano boost. Overtime is here, Scott. Both Winstons have been nanoed, and now it's about playing defense for both sides. They cannot let their backlines fall. A rally in the near future for NRG Shock as well. But there it is. Icy goes down, no one to touch, and TSM halted on second.
Oh, that was an absolute dogfight, just going back and forth, using ultimates. It really feels like you saw the individual capabilities of some of the players from NRG Shock in that round in particular. PG going crazy on the Widowmaker, Tree stepping in on the Tracer, getting some crucial picks, and then Kellen just able to exist forever while the backline is just unable to be touched from TSM. So yes, TSM, they had that dive that we talked about in the first map on Lijiang Tower. It was crispy clean, but as soon as NRG Shock's able to get set up, it didn't feel like they were able to break through that defensive barrier.
Yeah, that, I mean, even the first point was, yeah, extremely tough. Kellen has been around for a long time too, unlike Attack. Attack pretty new, pretty green in the grand scheme of things. Both of them actually playing on Element Mystic and Element Mystic Academy for Attack, and Talent too. I mean, they've been on the same teams pretty much the entire time, all the way through. NYXL, of course, for Kellen in the Overwatch League. But yeah, Kellen's been around since 2018, like start a kind of contenders era.
Yeah. He's been through the ringer, and that's why it feels so interesting to see him on NRG Shock after so many years.
Yeah,
it feels like he's
crazy,
just,
right? Yeah.
I'd love to look at his Wikipedia page of teams that Kellen has been on, because I feel like it would be a laundry list, and a good list at that as well. He's so experienced at the top level, really showing that off, especially on Winston. It's a hero that he's been known for a very long time.
Oh yeah. PG back on the Widow. Okay, I like this a lot. So you've got the Emerald gleam on it as well. It's very cool.
If you're going to play the Widowmaker here, I like it as well, but a lot of this NRG Shock offense is going to come and hinge on PG hitting shots, right? If he's not able to find any picks, what's going to happen is they're not going to have enough damage to really get the picks to be able to take down Icy, but that's the headshot that they needed, and all of a sudden there's a window.
Echo is... You just can't hit Echo. When she's gliding down, there is absolutely no hope. The sticky bombs have already landed before you actually hear the character. But that headshot onto Icy really set them up for success. Tree with a nice triple there. Dive in with Kellen. Easy as that.
And that's why the signing of Tree and Ultraviolet, that's a scary prospect for a lot of other NA teams. They're just so good at what they do. Individually great players. As much as you didn't get to see that all the time on M80, huge pickups by NRG Shock, but we are going to get a recent test from TSM, but Icy just can't hold up.
Oh, good shot too. Patient there, waiting for a rocket to walk in front of that reticle. Yeah, like you said, UV is such a disgusting pickup for NRG Shock. This entire team, they are looking like number 2 right now. They really are. I said Nightmare in the pre-show, you know, maybe kind of punching to them. I would love to see that matchup. I think it would be a really good one. Have to see if TSM can kind of hold here.
It's one of those things that NRG Shock just, they need to prove to everyone that they can do it, right? Obviously, disappointing performance in some of the last stages. They weren't able to hit the peak that they were expecting, but now with some of these additions, maybe that's the catalyst to get them there. Kellen goes in with the nano boost, unable to find anything, but just getting pushed away, and Ultraviolet was the one who ended up getting punished.
All right, King, though. King's come up pretty large on this Echo. Just a crazy pick right now, I feel. The carriage is just so good in a tank meta, just with the ultimate, but also with the dives as well. See what they can do. I mean, they've got 5 ults pretty much for TSM.
Yeah.
So can't get headshot by PG. Challenge. Like.
Well, it's going to be hard because you can see through walls. But, you know, it goes back to what I was saying from the first point, right? PG really needs to find either damage onto the Winston or find individual picks. Oh, he's going to go for aggressive things like this.
Wow. That was very close. Renko almost going down. Icy has
early rally.
Icy has got Primal, yes. Straight back down, hits the Primal. PG in trouble. However, receiving a whole lot of healing. Grappling the palm tree there didn't exactly send him where they wanted to go. Oh, it doesn't matter though, because he's still got the kill. All good. Kellen with the Primal Rage does kill Renko, but it's going to be a little bit too much disruption here, I think, for NRG Shock to really find a semblance in this fight. Although Tree's got something else to say about that, as Kellen and Tree force TSM onto the back foot as the payload's going to continue to move over this last final bridge. That golden ball to victory so close. They got 3 minutes to work with as well.
Yeah. NRG Shock, though, did use a lot of their ultimates in that fight. Even though they do technically win it, they just don't get a lot of movement here on the cart. So needs to hold up the shield left.
Nano boost.
Nice nano.
Nice nano. Grapple still available, though.
Already
Sleep.
low, though.
Doesn't end up connecting. Yeah, Icy. Again, just trying to go in with these nanos, but NRG Shock is so good at dealing with these nano instants.
Rocket bails TSM out a little bit there, getting that pick on the tree. NRG Shock have got to be really careful about staggering deaths here because they're still holding an aggressive angle. You can see PG doing that here. Oh, taking the stickies.
Oh, wow. That nade, yeah, that nade finished him off. All right, reset again unless they want to go in super aggressive. Rak going super low. There's the nade from UV, keeping Rak Attack alive.
PG over to the Ash. it's going to be very difficult to find space. You know, exactly like we talked about on Lijiang Tower, it's going to be very difficult to find the space to shoot. You can see they're intentionally moving this way just to potentially get PG in a spot where he can start free shooting. But they have to be careful because King can just loom above this roof and dive whenever, and the whole team's coming.
The whole squad's turning up now. Renko throwing a nade around the corner. Oh, Tree with a pulse bomb on the wall, I think that was. Oh, PG, there's no way. Yeah, Icy juggling off the point, but unfortunately for Icy, there's a bomb beneath him too. Slowly but surely, it looks like TSM are kind of losing control of this fight. Well, they have got the spawn advantage. NRG Shock with a whole host of ultimates, and Lep going down. This is a bad look for TSM right now. They need Lep to be alive. They need this rally to stay in this fight, but once again, King bailing out TSM on this Echo. I mean, Rocket is also going to be able to permanently touch here, but slowly but surely, everybody's just getting picked off. A sleep onto Kellen is going to buy them some time, but unfortunately, those sleep darts not what they used to be, Scott. And there's only 1.68 meters now, and Renko can't get back in the fight. And NRG Shock, they're going to tie up the series.
Oh, that was close. It was so back and forth, but unfortunately at the end, NRG Shock's ultimate's just too strong, just too many tools in their bag of tricks. And they're able to get there across the line. And you can start to see the NRG Shock that a lot of people were hoping for, what the 89% or the false 89% was saying. So
the false prophet.
The false prophet that we've been trying to spread on this broadcast. But that's 1-1. We got a series on our hands, Jack. The first non-3-0
on the first week of like group stages. There's no way. There's no way it's happening. Yeah, this was always going to be a really close one, and that control, it was, let's kind of look back at that real quick, especially control center on Lijiang, like, that was all TSM. Like, they came out with the Mauga comp, with the Mei, and the Reaper, like, they ran over NRG Shock. They had nothing to say about it, but as soon as you go onto a map where, yeah, PG can play Widow, can play Ashe, can play at these long ranges, I mean, you're going to see it right here. Some of these shots, just nasty from the Dark Lord, and, like, at the end of the day, that's always going to be the case when you do end up losing maps. You go to someone that's more favored for your playstyle, and now where are we going to see NRG Shock go to next? Because they're going to now have to grapple with TSM's pick.
Yeah, and that becomes the question, right? Does TSM go, hey, maybe we lean back towards more of these like wackier comps? Yeah, close quarters. Maps where PG isn't going to be able to get that kind of space, because that was really the difficulty. What felt like we saw from TSM is they had to put so many resources into trying to deal with PGE that freed up Kellen and Tree to really just run rings around the rest of the roster. And they just, you know, it was close. Like, let's not act like this was like a blowout of a map, but yeah, it did feel like NRG had the advantage in these kind of setups. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them send us towards a flashpoint or something like that, somewhere where it feels like the fights are a lot more free-flowing and they're able to manipulate the map a little bit better and get King going, but also shut down PG.
Yeah, King, I think King and Rocket, especially in this map, showed up super big. I mean, on the Echo specifically, Echo is just so nasty. Even against the hit scans, like I said, pretty inaudible. You can't really hear the Echo sometimes when they go on these crazy mean flanks. If we do go to a flashpoint, what one do you think is best? Because New Junk City, for me, stands out the most here rather than Suravasa. Like, a lot of those points, there's so many close, like, small choke points that you can play in towards, and it's hard for, like, a more long-range hit scan to get stuff done.
Yeah, I think the Mei Reaper definitely show up better on New Junk City, right? Like, situations where you can play a lot of corners, it's a lot easier to force people through chokes. Well, as you said, Suravasa, there are longer sightlines you can play in a different way. You can get PG in better spots. So if that is the direction they want to go, I would definitely expect it to be New Junk City. But for all we know, that's not even the direction they want to go. Yes, they have that in their back pocket, but it's also, remember, we're going to have a long series here. We're going to play a lot of the modes. Maybe you don't pull that trump card right now. Go somewhere that you think you can, you can go over to a hybrid that you think Ashe is not as good on or Hitscan is not as good on.
Oh, I want to say, like, what hybrid map do you go to if you go to a hybrid? Because I was thinking, like, Kings is, like, Kings is pretty small, like, close quarters, choke point kind of heavy. But then you can still
Third point's dangerous. Third point is really dangerous in those situations. How many times have we seen throughout the history of Overwatch where you switch over to a really good Widow or Ashe or anything and it becomes impossible to get to the defensive high grounds or even to get to the attacking team with that hit scan? So Kings is a difficult one. I think there are options. It just comes down to, like, pick your poison a little bit. And as I said, that map that we just played on Dorado, it wasn't one-sided. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's not like, if we go here, we lose. It's just about individual adjustments and what you're confident in. When you're in these kind of matches, you can easily overthink.
Wow.
No, I actually like this pick. As much as there's a lot of high grounds, I don't think hitscan is that strong outside of that 1 second point hold on the high ground. So I actually think this is a situation where Echo can get a lot of value. There's a lot of high grounds you can play off of. This might play better into what the TSM wants to play than what we've seen. Sorry, on NRG Shock.
Okay. Let's have a look what's going to go down here. I mean, again, maybe it's something that they've practiced a fair bit. I mean, do you play the Malga Reaper main? Probably not. But it's also a good map for Echo. It's a good map where you can dive, like, first point, pretty decent. You can hide around the clock tower, pretty oppressive if you do so. I want to know if Rak's going to go Alari, because it's also a very good Alari map. I'm just saying, Rak. I'm just saying. Every map's a good Alari map if you play well.
Yeah, if you try hard enough, every map's a good Alari map.
That's what I'm saying. Anything is viable as long as you play well, Scott.
So the bearer of bad news that I think of the Alari dream is that I think Alari really struggles to deal with the echo and the fast-paced nature that TSM seems to want to do. So as much as I believe that Alari can be good here, against what TSM is doing, I think it's unrealistic.
What about who's not even in the game yet? Juno.
Okay, I like where your head's up.
Speed
also,
run,
no.
Shooting people with your little blaster.
So I started blasting. Okay, you're right. That could work. That could work. All right. So no subs for either team here as well. So
yeah, I was going to say, I'm curious if we're ever going to see some substitutions here for NRG Shock. I would like to see Attack come in, but they're more than happy, clearly, with playing Kellen Winston. And like you were mentioning before, kind of a hero he's known for a long, long time. He's been known as the Winston guy for NYXL, Mystic, etc., even Talon back in the day. So Winston on defense, then PG going for the classic Ashe. I think we're just going to keep seeing these comps roll out. I think NRG Shock are more than happy playing with this exact style. It's going to be TSM having to like mold around them, and what they can bring to the table is going to be the big question mark here.
I also think what NRG Shock are playing is very close to what the meta is, right? Especially if you don't have someone who's able to play Echo. Like, just sticking with the Ashe is the way. Not the best jump shot I've ever seen in my life.
All good. It never happened. And
they're going quick here, Jack. They're going to go with Lucio Kiriko.
This is the kind of meta comp too. Like, there's a couple of kind of comps right now that seem the strongest. I would say Malga not in the comp. When it was D.Va, I would say that was one of the more strong comps. The D.Va, Echo, Tracer, Kiri, Lucio. But I see jumping onto Malga, of all things here.
I think this has to just be Icy wanting to just charge through this choke. Watch him just run down Ultraviolet here. Get in the backline, force a response.
That's a lot of damage on PG. Look at the focus fire from Rocket. It's good enough. It should be good enough for a kill. And Dynamite on the floor from PG. Lit himself ablaze there, I think. And yeah, you're exactly right. Icy is just, I'm going to go in, and we're going to go in fast. Jumps into the backline, hits Cardiac Overdrive. Everybody's getting healed up, and damage resistance too. That 3 seconds is an eternity when you're going that quick. And that is a very fast point cap. 5.5 minutes to go already.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Icy swap as he does switch over to the D.Va. I like that idea. Because of the little amount of distance that you need to, cross, I love that idea. Just be able to force the fight into a small position, pop the Cardiac Overdrive, as you said, and just all of a sudden, it's impossible for the rest of the team of NRG Shock to be able to fight it. So now goes over to the D.Va. This gives them the same opportunity to do the same thing, but D.Va can get the high ground faster than Malga just walking up the stairs like a normie.
Oh, tragic. Tragic Dynamite shot there. Unlucky. Just hit the body instead. Yeah, what do you mean like normie?
Well, I don't know, like a normal person, D.Va's cool and has jump jets, but unfortunately Malga just runs his big legs really fast up the stairs, which doesn't really get you there as fast as you want it to go.
Big legs. Yeah? He is pretty bulky, Malga.
Yeah.
Soldier runs his small legs, Malga runs his big legs.
Exactly.
Damn.
Is Malga just big soldier? Find out later. Enjoy his next tips and trick video.
Wait, that's so true. Wait, the lore is unfolding before my eyes. Now it moves on to Rack Attack there. From Ultraviolet, a good dive once again by King, forcing the Primal Rage too. Even got duplication, but the payload still... Oh! Kellen! Oh, what a boop. Kellen, what a boop from Lev. Don't see that every day. That's 1,000 HP and maybe some more there. Going to Lep's ultimate pool. Thank you very much. A nice duplication from King.
Oh, missed it.
Missed the nade. Yeah, I thought it landed. I think it hit the shield, unfortunately.
Rocket's dead as well.
But man, TSM. Okay. I think SGDQ is already finished, Scott. Summer Games done quick, already finished, but they're saying a speed record right now. But unfortunately for TSM, they have slipped over. Icy down. Still 3.5 minutes, and they're already over the bridge.
Yeah, that was a great push. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Rocket. It felt like Rocket fell off the map. Maybe a poor recall. A blink that went awry, but still not a bad push. As you said, they're going quick. And if they can get position on this high ground again, they'll be in a good spot. But they need to find a way to not let PG set up on this high ground right here. Oh, a lot of pressure coming out here for the point.
Close. PG just hunting for heads. Look at the... I mean, there's nothing you can do there.
Just too much damage.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like, you're just getting matrixed. Micro missiles and the matrix, just like, where's the healing coming from? The packs, I guess? The cookies? Rocket is moving the payload.
No
the
touches?
Payload, guys. Guys, the payload? Guys, the payload, though. Okay, we're all good. Tree does eventually get there. Rack Attack and Tree managing to hold S for a little bit. Just get back to the payload in time. Fortunately for Icy, he hasn't got the mech. But they're still forcing NRG Shock back.
They're trying to pressure Icy. They're trying to get an isolation to be able to kill him before he gets his mech back. But and the bomb's not very strong either.
Oh my god, Kellen. I think Kellen just took full damage there from the remake. Oh, and almost... Oh my word, Rack Attack almost with a team kill. Those sticky bombs landing onto Rack Attack, jump straight into Kellen. Kellen 9 HP once again, 9 lives. Not sure, he's not a cat either, he's a Winston. Self-destruct from IC, so he's got an additional life on this point, but this rush on the payload itself is going to be rough to deal with. And IC will start onto IC, instant use of the self-destruct, but ends up getting taken down by PGE. Rocket does come up big with a pulse bomb kill, but Rack Attack just so strong in the front line for NRG Shock right now. All that overhealth, making sure they see another day, and TSM are going to have to go again.
Yeah, it was a huge rally from Rack Attack, just able to keep the rest of his team alive. Kellen goes aggressive, finds some punishment, and TSM, this is the biggest problem with this second point attack, is if you just can't get this placard across the bridge, you have to use so many resources to get back into the fight that it becomes really difficult to be able to take an effective one. You can see they're stuck in this room trying to find a way to bust out. Are they going to go for the LEP sound barrier engage against? It's worked pretty well so far in this match.
They're backing all the way off. That payload is regressing as well, Scott. There's no cheeky potential for a C9 at all. Duplication on the Winston. Lep already dead though. There goes the sound barrier, Scott. That's can no longer be used, sadly, for TSM. Might still be good though.
No!
They are stealing the bot. And they're going to get the point as well. Icy and Rocket. They're just going to take that bot, or take the boat all the way to the doors. And PG and Ultraviolet, unfortunately, succumb to the icy depths below. And there it is, doors open, 2.5 minutes for the third point push.
Yeah, that was a great dive from TSM. You can see just how much the Divas allows, King to stay aggressive in these fights. Just so much defense matrix. Lep's able to hold on to the sound barrier as well, which is a huge deal. It's going to be able to keep them fight in this next fight, and Renko's got the Kitsune Rush as well. It's such a difficult ult to fight into.
Kitsune Rush and a beat as well. Lep kind of thanking himself that he went down pretty early in that last fight, because can use that sound barrier for the final point push. That's what I tell myself. High Noon, pushing people back, yep. PG in a little bit of a sticky situation though now, as Icy just trying to run at the back line. There's King coming up big once again, opening fights up time and time again. Rack Attack, PGE dead, Pulse Bomb in the hand of Rocket as he chases his like-for-like out of the fight. And Underboost onto Tree is good. Pulse Bomb into the spawn, finds a hit marker, but not enough damage for a kill. It's actually Icy that finished off Ultraviolet, and with 1.5 minutes to go, TSM looking in a good spot right now to finish with over a minute as the self-destruct scatters NRG Shock. They've got a rally coming out of spawn spot, but how long can Rack Attack actually stay alive? PG and Rocket do end up trading, and Tree with a Pulse Bomb, who's managed to stay alive this whole time, might just be the difference maker. King eventually felled as Rack Attack and Tree come up big.
All of that would have been impossible to do if Kellen hadn't found a crucial pick on Renko. As soon as Renko falls, they don't have the healing and sustainability to stay in that fight. TSM commit ultimates to try and offset that weakness, and they're not able to get through. So now with only a minute remaining, they have nothing left in the tank.
I mean, Pulse Bomb only available for NRG, though to be fair, maybe they can build up to this rush too. I mean, there's 40 seconds, you've only got 30% to go. I mean, make it 20. Should be a pretty easy one. These kunais are landing too from Renko, just weaving those shots in. Same with the Offida. They're just waiting for this rush to go, that's all they're doing.
Smart thing to do. Wait for the big ultimate, you can get it so quickly. PG's caught.
He's caught, but he backs off. Look at that. Kellen playing a little bit of bodyguard there, but unfortunately, Icy just runs through Kellen. Absolutely nothing they could do to save PG's life. And Tree with a pulse bomb forced to recall. There's a good few targets, but it goes wide again. Icy, pretty low, but there you go. That is it. 6.6 seconds remaining for TSM. What a good first point push that they had, 5.5 minutes, but it was a little bit more slow as NRG Shock found a footing at the very end. Kellen coming up with some large kills on the Winston, but the payload eventually pushed in to the very last point.
And always worth noting on Hybrid, finishing with 6.6 seconds is huge. That means regardless of what happens on the NRG Shock attack, they will get another opportunity to attack if necessary. So able to just clinch it out at the very end there with some great plays. As you said, Jack, Renko and the team recognizing, just get up to the Kitsune rush. NRG Shock used everything to hold on to that previous fight, and it was just too much damage. PG getting a little bit too aggressive, and they're able to punish.
Yeah, you kind of know when the enemy team kind of slows down that tempo, and PG kind of knew it too, playing around that payload, trying to be a little bit tricky with it. Like, they're going to come in eventually. They're just building up for something, probably the rush or the beat, maybe. And then, yeah, just kind of caught. You could see Shock, their idea there, just trying to protect PG, but D.Va is just... D.Va, man. D.Va.
Impressive.
D.Va moment. Micro missiles, Matrix, I fly at you, you're dead. You cannot receive heals. Like, good, well, the majority of the heals, I suppose. Yeah, pretty impressive on this patch.
The most impressive thing from TSM, though, is the way that they coordinate King with Icy, right? I think Icy does a phenomenal job of getting aggressive, but also allowing King to stand, because overall, Echo is quite exploitable if you're trying to play that aggressive, but you need just mitigation and heals. That was very
I would
close.
have lost my mind if that hit. My headset would have been on the floor.
Alright, same composition again, it looks like, from NRG Shock, but PG is going to start on the Cassidy. Just recognizing there's going to be a lot of people getting aggressive in his face. The Cassidy gives the hinder nade, gives him opportunity, gives him the combat roll. Lots of... an optimal pick against this level of aggression if you want to play the hit skin.
Pick. I like that. I like when my DPS players pick optimal heroes.
Never happened in my ranked games.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, that's a good first pick, though.
There it is.
You're dead to PG. Little two-tap. You take those. King with a nice kill onto PG, but, I mean, that's it, really. I mean, Lep's already dead, too. There's no heals left. King down. Okay, point A does not exist in this series. At least on this map.
It's a cosmetic point. They just want to play Escort, so just giving it up both sides. Very respectful, honestly.
We just want to play Escort, guys. Just let us cap. Okay, sure.
And that's a really big fight here for NRG Shock. On top of that, Ultraviolet 60% to the nano boost, so going to be ahead in that category. So now, how does NRG Shock take this high ground? One of the big weaknesses that they're going to have is PG, just like Malga, has to do it the normie way. Go up the stairs, take it slowly.
King is extremely aggressive on the Echo. You can see how much Ultra he's already got. Almost 80%. Like, he's not afraid to take these off angles, especially against the Cassidy, who got nerfed recently as well. Not as long range, those are just the single shots.
And the hinder grenade that came from the moon.
Yeah, that's true. That's fact. Nice eat there from Icy. Stopping Tree, getting value with the pulse. Rocket forced to recall.
You can see that the way NRG Shock are trying to play this is they're trying to just bunker down and force TSM to do something, right? And PG's just getting freedom to shoot and find picks time and time again, and that's going to be even more position on the second point. And Icy's getting extremely low, doesn't have the D.Va bomb, needs to stay in this mech.
Yeah, I mean, Kellen's just going to rip the Primal Rays, trying to force the issue here. Icy cannot go down, cannot lose this mech, like you said. Should be pretty easy now to kind of heal and back up as Kellen is turning his attention to other matters. PG's been nano boosted, but unfortunately Rocket is taking down the back line.
Icy does a great job as well. Just defense matrix in the face of PG, not allowing them to shoot even with the nano boost, and someone is stuck here. It's going to be Tree.
Triple blink, yeah, there you go.
We'll get out.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, it's rough. Like, nanoing your DPS, they're normally pretty good, right? Because you enable them to stay alive, survive these dives, but as soon as you get Matrix, you're doing negative damage.
Yeah.
It can be really rough. PG, I mean, King's still got this dupe. It's been tough for NRG Shock. Ready to win a concisive team fight. It's been a slow bleed out more often than not. There's going to be a rush coming in through from Renko there into the small corridor, but instantly you see that reactionary ultimate from Rack Attack, using that rally just to push everybody from TSM all the way back. And now King, a duplication onto the Winston. A dive of old times here, as King and Icy can dive into the backlines of the D.Va-Winston combo.
The card is getting dangerously close. TSM are going to have to do something. Rocket's recall gets forced very early.
Tree's movement is so clean here, oh my word. That pulse bomb as well, just holding onto it, just trying to force cooldowns from Renko before he goes for it. Speaking of pulse bombs,
Rack Attack back into it.
One in onto Rack Attack, got boots back in by the look of it, yeah. Oh, Rocket. Oh, not again. Don't want to jump off the map. We're all good. Hit the recall just in time. 2.5 minutes to go, though. Like you said, Scott, that payload moving dangerously close to those doors, and PG taking the head off of Rocket, who had to recall a little bit earlier on to save himself. Pulse bomb in the silver hands of Tree, eventually does manage to get Icy's mech, and there's the follow-up. Here comes the snowball for NRG Shock. Oh no! No, Tree's off the map! What's happening?
King's off the map.
King's off the map as well. What's going on? Is Toby in this game? 2 minutes to go for NRG Shock. This bridge
Primal does come out.
What's happening? I mean, yeah, Primal Rage should be able to stall this point out long enough for the spawns to come in.
Oh, that's a really bad kill onto Tree. All of a sudden, NRG Shock lose a lot of the damage that they would have to clear out this point. Rack Attack falls as well. PG down. They just can't close it out.
It's a dog fight. Oh my. I mean, like 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. I mean, TSM, they've got dupe, they've got rush. Like, it's going to be hard for NRG Shock to do much. They're going to be able to get rally, though, I suppose. That will be the saving grace of this aggressive play here from TSM.
TSM also haven't been able to regain the castle space, so they've had to stay on the cart because of how close it is to the checkpoint. So now they're trying to force the issue, trying to force ultimates early. It's going to be a King dupe onto the Cassidy.
Nano boost onto Kellen. Rack Attack down. Payload moved. And PG in the periphery right now. Nice little bit of damage there onto the mech, but PG's alone.
The pit beckons for us all.
What is the bridge? How many elims has the bridge got right now?
Oh, honestly, it might be the MVP. Okay,
seriously. Production, put the bridge as MVP of this map. Okay, 49 seconds to go. Surely no one else falls off the map.
Surely. Clueless.
Clueless.
There's a lot of ultimates here for TSM. Yes, they use the rush, but Icy has the second life with the D.Va bomb. They got a pulse bomb from Rocket. Could end this right now. Rack Attack needs to stay alive with the rally.
Pulse bomb. Rally just in time there, saves his life. Tree, the pulse bomb still in hand, gets onto the points. Try and put some additional pressure on it. Rocket with a ring around the rosy, but now with the beats. Tree is in a severe disadvantage against his like for like in the enemy tracer. Tree just trying to get out of there. No recall, and Renko chases him down. This is TSM almost getting a team wipe here. Renko does end up falling, but it's a power out for TSM. They've still got ults to burn. I mean, Kellen can stay alive with the Primal Rage, but what good is it actually going to do, Scott? He's just going to get focused out. Rack Attack throwing a few cookies at him to keep him alive and well as Ultraviolet rejoining the fight. But they still have to deal with King up on the high ground. It's actually PG jumping over to do Sombra of all things to try and get back to the point in time. And a manual hack there onto the Lucio. Self-destruct from Icy on the point, clearing people away, but easily being able to get out. I mean, look, Kellen and Rack Attack are still alive on the point, and Ultraviolet is in such a good spot to heal people up from a distance. And with the Nano coming online in just a couple of moments, this is NRG Shock's fight to lose. It's all up to Rocket. A pulse bomb does land, a nice connection onto Rack Attack, but Lep goes down to Ultraviolet, and Nano Boost has been deployed, and finally someone is looking at UV. Kellen clearing things up now. The cleave of the Winston Tesla cannon should be enough for NRG Shock to get these gates open. And there it is, a minute and 30 seconds to go. Rough. I mean, this was a dogfight, Scott. My word, the fight didn't break down into the last few moments there.
And Ultraviolet was able to just live for way too long, sitting in the background, keeping Kellen alive, getting big nades. Once that nano boost went on to Kellen, too much damage, too much survivability, and TSM falls short. Doesn't matter though, we're on the third point, a minute remaining, TSM can still hold this.
Here we go, here's the rush. PG down. Surely PG switches here as well. I mean, maybe you stay for the Sombra? The EMP's pretty close, kind of. I mean, 60%. Rally coming in for Rack Attack. Ultraviolet in a little bit of trouble there, but perfect goalkeeper skills from Rack Attack, saving UV's life. King goes down, Kellen 2, 40 seconds to go now for NRG Shock as they try and regroup as 5.
That cost the TSM the rush, but they were able to hold on just for a little bit. 30 seconds remaining, EMP 75%. Keep an eye on that ultimate because that's going to be the thing that they're going to need to close this out.
Leb's got a sound barrier though, Scott. How long can he hold on to it though? That is the question. TSM have got to know that PG's going to have this ultimate soon. Duplication easily dealt with there by Rack Attack, and Kellen is still being a menace in the back line.
PG dead.
PG's dead though. No EMP for NRG Shock. He can't build up 10% because he has to get back as well. Primal Rage ripped from Kellen once again. It's up to UV to get another nano boost. And he's just managed to kill one. Lep still though, Diamond Hands with that beat. Manages to keep hold of it for this next fight. Or I say next fight, it's the final one.
They used the bomb.
Icy brought down that self-destruct as PG comes back. He's got an EMP, but when does he use it? He does end up ripping it. He does land on 3. Rocket Renko Lep in trouble. That sound barrier not good enough for TSM to win this fight. Is Kellen just determined to keep them in this one?
That's such terrible timing for Lep. He tries to pop the sound barrier, gets hit by the EMP on the pool. That's so huge for PG, and now they're able to go into this final fight. If they can get Icy out of this mech, a Life Weaver switch for Lep. He saves him alive. But Ultraviolet has this nano boost. Kellen's going to be able to hold these spawn doors with this extra damage from the nano boost, but a pulse bomb and a Renko is even better.
Even better pick, yeah. What heals do you have now? Almost none. Oh, nano boost stolen by Tree. Oh, you take that. You only have to deal with that Diva though. That mech is pretty damn low, and now the Tracer can just farm the backline. Lep does end up getting the boop away on the Tracer, so no instant kill with this nano boost. Lep is just being rather tricky with it, but it is all PG on the floor there, Scott. Just burying everybody as they eventually close it out. My word. 1 minute to 1:06. We knew this was going to be close, Scott, but not this close.
The PGE Sombra pocket pick. The thing that nobody expected, that comes in clutch at the final hour.
Is he the very best to ever do it?
I think Lip maybe is the second best Sombra of all time now, behind the PG GOAT, potentially.
So true.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, that's 1 for 1. You get one ultimate steal with the EMP. W actually.
Unfortunate for Lep, but that's this fight is going back and forth time and time again. It feels like it's just the little things that are determining the factors, and I really want to shout out Ultraviolet. He's doing a phenomenal job on this Ana, just living forever, keeping Kellen alive, just holding on from the TSM dive that's coming constantly. King and Icy are just throwing their bodies at the problem, and NRG Shock are just withstanding. But now, with only a minute remaining, what's going to happen on these first points? Because remember, the first point was cosmetic for both of these teams on their first rounds through, so who's going to make an adjustment?
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see TSM on their attack pull out the Malga again. I'm curious. We'll see what NRG Shock can do first. I like the call out too. UV and Rack have just been so stellar in the backline for NRG Shock.
All right, so we're not going to see anything crazy out of NRG Shock. PG is going to start on the Cassidy. You can see them trying to clear out the flanks of TSM, just force them to do something. Tree's got Rocket in a weird spot, but King's going to help out.
Yeah, nice work there by Tree. Tree was kind of working Rocket in the neutral. Like every good teammate though, yeah, King comes in to save the day. And now they got the dive, UV once again. Oh, I mean the crunch is just crazy. Ludicrously tasty, you could say. As PG also ends up going down. 20 seconds to go. They have to reset. They have to reset now, Scott. They're going to die or get out.
I don't think Tree's going to get out either. This is going to be desperation mode here for NRG Shock. Are they going to push the agenda? No, they're going to hold because Icy's in Baby Diva form, okay? That's a really dangerous thing for here. If NRG Shock can regroup before Icy gets mech, that's going to be a problem.
Kellen's on the Diva now. Touches. Here we go.
Icy gets
To
mech.
get there. OT in. Icy does get mech, like you said. Now's the time to pounce. Kellen's only got that brief window before Icy gets a full mech and full in control again. Kellen's just getting focused out, but so is Icy. Good little bash there. Even Rack Attack is super aggressive, Scott. It's a big nade too. A nano boost. Oh, I don't think UV even needs it at this point, to be very honest with you. Oh, a Hail Mary pulse bomb from Tree there. A good little sleep, by the way, onto Rocket. Did end his life quick, sharp. I mean, Ultraviolet is just an absolute menace on the Ana. Showing up in a big way. NRG Shock, they crack the defense, get the payload going.
They do a great job of punishing Icy. Icy got the mech back, but it was just a little bit too late. The damage was done. Forced Renko Suzu a little bit earlier. So many things just cascaded away from TSM, and now NRG Shock. They go over to the PG signature Sombra best in the world.
Oh, here it is. Oh, okay, little boss bomb on the payload. I really like this play, Scott, actually. Just get ultimates out. And also, if you hold the payload here, it's in such a weird spot, in fact. A rally from attack protecting ultraviolet. But... oh, there it is.
I agree with you, Jack. That was a very smart play here from TSM, because that means that if they win the first point, the likelihood that they're going to win the map is very high, because it's going to be very difficult for NRG Shock to be able to contest. So that's a dangerous play. Let's not get it mixed up. That's a dangerous play to throw all your ultimates. If that didn't come through, it could potentially have cost them the entire second point, but they take the gamble and it pays off, and now they only need 16 meters. But the more important thing, they need to get the first point.
How often do we see payloads actually stop there? Like, realistically?
Very rare.
Very, very rarely. Because the payload too, it's got that horrible waiting, sitting when the doors open, etc. It's just so rough to kind of wait for. But yeah, what a heads up play from TSM. Looks like they're going to try the Mauga again too. I really like this. But NRG Shock with a small adaptation actually, with Kellen on the Ram instead. So Ramatra instead of Winston.
I like this idea. So the idea, it feels like, is Ultraviolet goes onto the Baptiste, something that's a lot less exploitable from Amalga, and then Kellen goes over to the Ramatra, because they understand TSM's probably going to run the same thing at them, run the Malga down, and if they want to go to the D.Va matchup's pretty good, but you can definitely make it work with the Malga, with the Ramatra and the Cassidy, so I like the adaptation from NRG Shock.
Okay, well that's 6 extra seconds, it's gone. There it is.
And Icy's going to stay.
Ultraviolet can stay alive too. He's on the BAP now instead of the Ana. Slowly but surely. Kind of doing the same thing. Oh, that is not good. Caught mid swift step. You go again. Go again. Go on, he got one more fight here. Killing PG's good.
And
okay,
Ultraviolet.
Icy just kills 2. Okay, Malga moment, I suppose.
Rakatak
burns to death. Rakatak just burned to death. Icy just kills 3 as Malga. I'm sorry, what did we just witness? Like,
that
is even
insane.
like Malga of old. I mean, look at Kellen. He has to get out of there. He can't die here, otherwise the map is just over.
Yeah, and you can see they really don't want to give up this first point. They understand how difficult it's going to be to hold. 8 seconds remaining.
They're going to get the retouch.
PG's out.
Cap here. And here comes Icy. He's in the front line again. PG is on the point. Past his tank. They end up trading as Lep also ends up falling. Pulsable on to Icy, but unperturbed. He does dash to the back line. Eventually slain there by UV, but overtime is still in session. Ultraviolet keeping the front line alive as Rakatak also playing a little bit of defensive goalkeeper there, keeping Rocket out of the situation. It is still OT. Scott, a duplication onto the Malga is going to be good, at least for the moment, but that's a Nemesis form. It's just not enough, Scott. It's really not enough. TSM, they're going to have to deal with a beat now. I think this is all over. The Annihilation just surges Kellen on forward, an NRG Shock. Oh my god, even Icy coming up with 3 kills there. They couldn't make it work, and they managed to hold on that first point.
Unbelievable map on Eichenwald. Back and forth, adaptations, everything you could ask for an Overwatch match. I love to see it. I really like the idea from NRG Shock at the final hour. Go over to the Ramatra. Think about how much value we saw come out of that Ramatra from Kellen. Just gave them a lot more staying power. Even Ultraviolet allowed to stay alive. I don't know what we witnessed with that one Malga 3K that came out of left field, but they were able to just hold. And now all of a sudden, 2-1 lead here for NRG Shock, and you have to start scratching your head for TSM. How do we get back in this series?
Control not beating the fraudulent map allegations here. Being the first one to lose, and then you just win the next 3. I mean, honestly, though, this could really go either way. We'll jump into some highlights before we get into the next map here, Scott. My god, that map, it couldn't have delivered more, in all honesty. First week back in OWCS, Stage 3 here in North America, just starting off with a massive bang. I mean, hopefully we get a little montage of the bridge claiming some lives too, as a lot of people ended up saving themselves with recalls or just PG rolling off of the side of the map there on point 2. So yeah, it couldn't, like I said, couldn't have delivered any better? I mean, where would you like to go here if you're TSM? Because it was an incredibly close. Would you go to Escort at this point? Oh no, we've already had Dorado, so we can't.
So we've had Escort, so it has to be Flashpoint or push, right? So we start opening the doors of where you think you want to go. I don't think you're seeing a crazy amount of difference in push. I think both teams are going to play very similar fast comps. So if anything, you'd throw the trap card potential of going to a new Junk City or something like that, because I honestly don't think it really matters a crazy amount. Maybe they'll throw like another curveball at NRG Shock, but more than anything for TSM, they can win these maps. They could have won this map. There was just a few things that went by the wayside that cost them this map. So I think it's more about locking in, and this is the 3K from Icy just doing so much damage.
And you saw Rack in the corner, like crouching as the Lucio, like, please don't shoot me, but just dies to the fire anyway. Oh, it's so sad. Man, this first point recontest here was ridiculous from NRG Shock. I mean, yeah, maybe you do throw the curveball and go to a flashpoint. The Reaper may, like, I loved it on the control center. It's not something I think we'd see ever in this kind of meta, because D.Va kind of shuts down Maga pretty well, but I mean, it could work on New Junk City.
I will say the problem with those kind of compositions is it's kind of like, it's great as a surprise, but if it becomes expected, and the problem with Flashpoint is it's a long map, right? Like, it's control, but you're doing it over and over and over again. It potentially gives NRG Shock the opportunity to adapt, to change their composition depending on what is happening in that moment. So maybe there's a world where TSM's like, hey, this works for one Sanctum round or Control Center round on Lijiang Tower. Is that going to work in the long format of Flashpoint? Maybe looking to avoid that kind of situation.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It is TSM. It's their map choice once again in this banger series between NRG Shock and TSM. But we're going to go to a quick break, give the players a little rest too, before we jump in to our fourth map. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. Here we go. We're going to another map, Scott. It's crazy. Who'd have thought? Looks like we're going to a push map as well by the little graphic down there. So TSM, we'll see what they have chosen in just a moment. Yeah, this has been a series and a half. I haven't barked on the stream, which is kind of crazy. Never going to do that again.
Barked? When did you bark?
I did. Let's not talk about it.
I missed it. Someone clip it. Send it to me, please.
We're going to push. We're going to Colosseo, chosen by TSM. Okay. Colosseo, new Colosseo, of course, with the removal of the glass, an extended map as well.
Good Echo map? Are we just seeing TSM stick to their strengths? I don't know, like, Echo's okay, but I would think Hitscan's stronger. Maybe we'll see them go for something interesting here, but Colosseo is definitely an interesting pick. But as I said, I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel if you're TSM. This isn't a situation like we saw in the first series of, like, you need to do something crazy. This is a close series, and you can just fix it by just some individual changes, some team changes, and a little bit of adaptation to what the Shock are throwing at you.
I see. I mean, what do you expect NRG Shock to kind of run out on here? I mean, we're not getting any substitutions, so probably the same thing, kind of the with the Ana and with the Brig.
Yeah,
straight up Kellen, Winston again.
Yeah, I expect to see them play the Ash Cassidy again on PG, and then when they decide they want to win, they'll probably send him back to the Sombra. But, you know, it's one of those things of, like, I think NRG Shock has very heavily showcased how they want to play the game, right? This is what they want to do. It's on TSM to be able to solve that problem, but actually... Oh no, I thought there was a sub coming in. I was like, whoa! I thought maybe attack's coming in, but no.
No. Scissors, Attack, and Cal all sitting on the bench for now. I'm sure we'll see them at some point during the stage, and then maybe the main event. I mean, Cal would make the most sense. Obviously, swap Cal in for a place like Midtown. Cal's very good on the Alari. Any kind of Alari map wouldn't surprise me. Little double flex action.
Yeah. I just don't think it makes sense right now with where the meta is sitting. You know, I can definitely
no way
going over to that in the future, but for right now, everything's just going to stay the same.
Yeah, still not
Left's going to stay on Zaya. So.
And honestly, at this point, like, we kind of talked about it at the very top of the series. Like, will we see Chopper and Rocket, obviously, historic kind of duo at this point, too. But with King and being able to just play Echo, King has had a phenomenal series so far, despite the scoreline.
Yeah, no, King's been doing great on the Echo. You completely understand why Chopper isn't in the lineup. Maybe they're just confident in the way that they're playing the game. So that's just how it is sometimes, you know. Maybe the team didn't find as much success in scrims. You're not going to throw Chopper in cold in the final hour and expect him to be able to go toe-to-toe with, you know, PG. He might be able to do it, but that's a gamble that they don't need to take. So we head into Colosseo. Let's see the adjustments that are going to be made.
I see the Sombra. Also, when are those going to be skins?
That is, yeah, those would be pretty cool skins. When are they going to be heroes? That's the better question, you know?
Ooh, the one on the left with the 2 blades on the arms. Man. Like a praying mantis kind of hero. Thoughts on that?
Who's
praying
the guy on the left? Oh, no, mind, he's gone. I was trying to work out who the guy in the portrait is.
You could argue that maybe like a Rhine skin with a big sword.
Yeah, I could see it.
Kind of cool. I want a praying mantis hero. There you go. All right, TSM running with the Icy on the D.Va. Just the Tracer, Echo, Kiri, Lucio kind of standard here. PG starting out on the Ashe. Long range scan. A little bit more deadly now, though. Well, on the opposite direction, like PG is going to have to be a little bit more safe because it's so much easier to kind of collapse on the backline now with this glass removed.
As we said, you know, it's one of those things of like, I think both teams are pretty confident in the way they're playing. They believe that they can win doing that, so TSM's going to stick on just doing the exact same thing. But now they're going to have to do what they consistently... They need to find the windows to get on top of PG. PG needs to hit the shots. That's both of their win conditions and how they're going to sort of turn this map in their favor.
Yeah, it should be quite tough to get dynamite damage in as well. Although it can be tough when you're just kind of hiding around this corner. Consistent damage here from PG, like you said. Exactly what he needs to do. Already almost 50% towards the bottom. Not too bad at all. And Tree even claiming a little bit of space.
Thing to keep an eye on is Renko's Kitsune Rush charge. You know, already up to 70%. That might be the thing that TSM's just going to wait out. Then they can drop it and get the space themselves.
I cannot believe we changed Colosseo. We're back to the same thing.
Are you telling me it wasn't the glass? It was the glass, not the problem. No, don't let Spylo hear you say that. It was the glass. This is a great change.
It was a great change. I'm not arguing with you, but it's so funny that we're back to like Colosseo just being just stall fest. It's just the architecture of the map, really.
Any moment now, ultimate.
Any moment. Ultimate.
There we go.
There you go. There's the dive. Renko with the rush on the high ground. Really nice place too, actually. The low grounds are also going to get affected. Icy antied so low. Determined to push his way in, though, into the backline. There you go, King. Double kill with the stickies. That's exactly what we wanted. We didn't quite reach the 2-minute mark there, Scott. We're all good.
That's growth right there for Colosseo. Good job.
That's growth. That's so true. We're living and learning, and double kill from King should give them a little bit of progress on the bot, but look at that. Shock already back. Yeah,
just because they lost a couple of players, the Shock are going to be able to come back, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think we're about to end up in this middle stall a little bit. But Ultimate's up for NRG Shock. They're going to have Kellen with the Primal, Ultraviolet with the Nano Boost. So it's going to be about that jostling for position and when Kellen decides is go time.
Oh, there it is. Nano straight. Oh,
great boot.
Really nice boot there. Kellen deploying the bubble a little bit too late. But NRG Shock, I see getting a little bit of space. They don't end up taking the lead, not the checkpoint just yet, but the bomb, I think, just flattened Rocket. Turned straight into a pancake, served up for breakfast. Sound barrier coming through as well. There's a really big beat. That beat hitting King is large, though. Latest sound barrier coming through from left. Just enables King to set up and just exist in the backline for an eternity, it feels like, and even a dupe on the Winston. Still pretty low, might not be able to earn the Primal Rage, although saying that, nice defensive matrix there by Icy, keeping King up, and as he rips the Primal, he's got 1,000 HP to play with, but not a lot of time left on the dupe, so eventually, he ends up changing back into Echo form, and, well, the stall can commence once again.
Well, PGE has decided to end the game.
Oh, he's ended the game, everybody.
The GOAT goes over to Sombra, punishing the D.Va, so let's see if he's going to be able to get the same kind of value from Sombra that we saw in Iconmold. Big EMP that hit the Ajax on the left. So this is just going to allow them, all of a sudden, if you're TSM, who is your target, right? It has to be Ultraviolet now. They're going to have to all in, try and get back, but look at how far back he's playing.
Yeah, and look how defensive PG's also playing too, making sure that he's around when a dive comes in, instant hack onto somebody, and then you can't use abilities, and it's GG. Pulse bomb onto the mech of Icy, forces the D-mech there, Renko unable to kind of save him with the Suzu. Losing a mech is bad, but so is losing Tree, to be fair. Not going to be able to gain too much space as King is, Kellen, is making his presence known in the front line. The Sombra Goats 40% away now from the EMP.
Oh, can't get that high.
You're not going to the Olympics with that one. Sorry.
Now you can see that's a huge tool that goes literally absolutely nothing other than a flying Winston. So now they're going to have to back up a little bit, wait and get their other ultimates online. Kelly into the Primal Rage, the infamous PG EMP is coming. But we're still just bouncing back and forth at this middle point.
Yeah, watch out. He's got another one with your name on it. He's closing in on the sound barrier. If it happens again, I'm calling the series. I'm calling it.
Shut down the server, it's over.
Well, there's the sound barrier. Came out a little bit too early there. PG does rip the ult. Only hits 2 though. Lep and King afflicted with that EMP. Might be enough for a kill though onto Lep. Yeah, it is. Look at that follow-up from Kellen. Kellen's Winston is looking very good. It feels like very unlike his time on New York Excelsior. That team just did not perform at all in the last year of the Overwatch League. And Kellen, of course, being a member of that.
And once again, all of a sudden, NRG Shock getting position. That EMP was really the difference maker. Yes, it didn't hit a ton of players, but, you know, it forced out the Suzu, forced out a lot of players and did the damage. And all of a sudden, that's the advantage that they got from those traded beats. But NRG Shock, because they don't have many ultimates, they're going to step back. They don't want to walk into the advantageous position of TSM, and we're going to meet in the middle once again.
I mean, it has been 6 minutes almost, and we aren't even over 40 minutes, because these team fights aren't clean, you know? They're not like a 5-man team fight. We save 4, maybe we save 5 people. King with the copy. Oh, copies the Sombra just in time there. The hack was going to go through eventually. Can King get a free EMP? Does go for an manual hack on to somebody, but ends up missing. Callan now with not with the Primal, unfortunately. He's got the low ground control. Not the best for the Winston. Does eventually make his way up to high ground there, but Renko and Lep are there to meet him. Payload not moving currently. King, Renko and Lep just fighting on this high ground. Icy does manage to make an appearance somewhat and just matrix the rest of his team, and NRG Shock are just going to steal the ball. A complete map flip there is TSM on the wrong side of things. They do end up losing control, in fact, forcing them to use the rush to gain a semblance of something, Scott.
Yeah, they had to use the rush to get back in the fight because they are on the wrong side of the map. Somehow we are on complete opposite sides. Sound barrier up for a rack attack. He does have a brief advantage, but Lep is catching up. But we're in the middle. Early Diva Bomb from Icy, and he's going to get punished for it as well. Doesn't get back in the mech.
Yeah, UV picks up the kill. Okay, King dead. All right, here you go. Clean team fight here for NRG Shock. And they've got beat, they've got pulse, they've got EMP. PG's dead. He will have EMP in just a moment. And they're finally getting the bot under the bridge. Maybe a checkpoint in the horizon. 3 minutes to go, though. A quick regroup for TSM.
Most importantly, as you said, it was a clean fight, and they also had the cart moving at the right spot. Ultramar's getting exceptionally low, but he is going to stay alive at least for now, but King will manage to clean it up, and that's going to force NRG Shock to disengage.
All the way back. Better place to use the EMP as well, to be fair. Right in the mid, so...
It's just so difficult to attack the defending team who has the high grounds, they have the positioning. It's almost impossible to have an advantageous fight, so you really need to get staggers and sort of punish people for trying to step up. But TSM, now they have to deal with the fear of the EMP. They know it's looming. Lep is going to be hiding, trying to drop the sound.
So far away. They spot him. Oh, EMP lands and it hits Renko. Lep got out of there, but couldn't lay down the beat quick enough to save his other support. I mean, with King dead as well, that's a lot of your damage disappearing in front of their very eyes. PG hacked the planet, and with only a minute and 50 seconds to go, NRG Shock. I mean, they're fighting and they're winning these mid-fights as well, Scott. They haven't got checkpoint, but they don't need it.
That's the main thing. As long as you have positioning and you have the meterage there at 60 meters, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tree push this up and then eventually just give it up. They don't need to fight for this. They already are in a good spot. And you can see they're likely to just sort of disengage. They run back to the mid-fight, and now they will go again. NRG Shock firmly in the lead of this, and TSM needs to find something, because if they lose this map, they're going to lose the series.
Only a minute stands in. NRG Shock away. Have taken that one as a 3-1. There's a rush. There's so much available for TSM right now, but it looks like NRG Shock are just going to go first and squish Renko. He ended up using the rush, but there's no one there to actually utilize it. Maybe Rocket, but that's it. I mean, NRG Shock are just running rings around TSM right now. This series started off with a bang from TSM coming in, show us what they're made of, but right now this is NRG Shock, just putting them on the pot as well, spinning them around and just making a nice little vase out of them. They're just getting worked.
Huh? Was that a pottery reference that you just threw in there?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, sorry. No, no, I agree. Yeah, they're playing like a pot. Alright, let's go to NRG Shock. They do have the Primal Rage, they have the Sound Barrier, they have all the tools to be able to deal with this aggression because Renko didn't get any value with that Kitsune Rush. They're trying to get deep, but look, Ultraviolet's just doing so much damage.
King transforms into Sombra. Oh, instantly slept. Does eventually awaken up from his quick slumber. Gets a manual hack on PGE, resulting in the kill at the very least. Only 10 seconds to go now, though. Scott, Icy Rocket, they've got ultimates, so they've got the kills too. But now, they have to be perfect to keep themselves in this series. No more deaths can be afforded. Oh, and this is going to get him. Get him. Well, he took some high jump lessons and he managed to cake out King in the skies, but it is still their last hope, and they've got a whole lot of meters to actually make up here.
And that's the Primal Rage out of the window. We've seen time and time again on this map, overtime pushes can be so dangerous because the staggers and the spawn rates just get so long. NRG Shock have got to be really careful about overextending and getting picked first.
Oh, nice tag on there to Tree. Forces the recall, so he has to play a little bit more defensive now. Actually, again, taken extremely low, but Icy loses mech. Self-destruct, but where's the follow-up? He's looking for it. He's looking for the Pilot Diva, but no! He gets back in mech just in time, and actually Rocket comes up with a Pulse Bomb. Kellen down. Now it is time for TSM to rush in. They have got the EMP, Scott, and they're going to utilize it too. Icy, Renko, they're hacked up, but where's the follow-up? Rocket trying to take down Ultraviolet, but Ultraviolet a little bit too slippery for them as Tree takes down Lep. The spawn advantage here for NRG Shock. They just need to regroup.
Yeah, Icy's out of mech right now. You can see Kellen smells blood in the water.
The focus. Easily taken out Icy. Rocket King also pretty low. Tree's just dancing around the payload right now. No, he doesn't need to do anything, and there it is. They step off the bot, and just like that, NRG Shock take the map.
What a series. We talked about who is the team who's going to take the second spot in NA, who is really going to step up, and you can see NRG Shock and TSM both vying for position. They both want to be that team that is not only going to be able to start, winning some of these stages, getting further, but be able to get to DreamHack Stockholm, that finish line that they're all aiming for.
What a match this was, though. My main takeaways here is PG Sombra
is kind of goaded, like out of left field.
Because usually when a player switches to Sombra in certain situations, it's like, oh, okay, they're throwing that. That's cool. I love that. Not in this case. Kind of clean. I mean, PGA generally was a big standout here. I think the opposition had to just really devote a lot of resources to shut him down, and that allowed for so much space. So I am very impressed. I love that it was closely matched, at least early on. But then NRG Shock, they just turned it up. Let's actually take a look at some of the highlights from this match. Which moments stood out to you, and why was it Eichenwalde claiming all the lives?
I mean, Eichenwalde easily. I not only PG obviously getting the sick EMP, but people falling off the map, the tracers blinking off, and having to recall.
Something about it.
Honestly, that cost, I think Rocket quite big, didn't have the recall available in order to continue a fight and just got chased down. It could be really rough burning a recall that early. It was a very entertaining series, that can easily be said. Also PG on this map too, on the Widowmaker, looks so sick.
It really did feel like PG sort of hit another level, and that started getting the confidence for this team. It felt like they did have a little bit of a slow start, but you saw a lot of the players step up individually in a big way, right? PG starts hitting shots, but not only that, Tree starts winning some of these tracer duels, getting a lot of value, finding big sticks. Ultraviolet really just hit another gear on the Ana further down the line, to the point that he's just we're just going to play Lucio Ana on Colosseo because Ultraviolet's just putting in so much work, which is a difficult pick against a Diva, against an Echo, against the Tracer, but Ultraviolet makes it work because he's just that good.
Yeah, Ana definitely feels really bad right now against that Diva because the Matrix just absorbing everything that you can throw in. It's not like other healers where you can just kind of work around the Matrix. Sure, the healing beam from Alaria, right? That doesn't go through, doesn't get hit by the Matrix or anything. And having an Ana work in this situation, and even against the Kiriko too, their backline is just so strong and so fundamentally core to how they're winning too. Their ability to stay alive, I'm not going to be like the Chio Fielder of maybe that's the duo name. I don't know. I'm not going to say they're of NA, but the way they were playing the Brig and the Ana, like they were unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it does. You know, all memes aside, the PGE Sombra was genuinely very impressive. Yeah, the way that not only he played it, like he was getting quick EMPs, but the way that the team was following up on those EMPs, it felt like they were always getting high value impacts. So, you know, big plays, recognizing that they're getting in his face too much, he's not able to get value on the hit scan, move to Sombra, make the adaptation.
Yeah, generally they were just always one step ahead. I think the adaptations they made, not just with hero swappings, but also just their approaches to the team fight, was just very, very impressive. There was a lot of synergy, and that is very impressive considering that this is a retooled roster, right? There's a lot of new pieces. They didn't have a lot of time. They didn't have a lot of time at all. Callan has only been with them for less than 2 weeks. So for them to come in like that and then put up such a show, very, very impressive. Love what we've seen from Callan and the team.
Yeah, Kenna looks super good on the Winston. Always has been like his best hero for sure, and a good meta for him.
You have to throw it back to the New York Winston times, though.
Yeah.
Absolute savage.
Yeah. We won.
We won. Oh boy, yeah, that was a little bit of a rough time.
That was a long con.
It's that roster. That roster pretty ambitious, I'd say, in New York Excelsior. But I mean, Kellen coming back in. I mean, we spoke about it before, Scott. But like how long Kellen has been playing, even compared to Attack. Attack's only been playing since what, like 2020, roughly, on EM Academy. They're going to Element Mystic. But Kellen's been around since 2017, 2018. Like, yeah, he's been around the block, and it's good to see him put in some big performances in NA. A very competitive region.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. Yeah, there's so many highlight-worthy moments on this team. One player we obviously already touched on quite a lot was PGE, and we actually have joining us here for a quick chat, so let's bring PGE in. First, of course, congratulations to you and the squad. That was a very, very exciting match we just got to watch. Let's talk about that Sombra pocket pick, though. Is this something you guys have practiced? Is this something you just bust out once in a while? Like, where did that Sombra come from?
Basically, I pressed tab. I had like 22 deaths. I couldn't play hit scan that well, so we was like, all right, let's just play Sombra. I kept dying, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try playing something I can live on.
Are you surprised that it worked out so well?
No, I'm not surprised at all because like anything that I can live on and help with the dive was way more helpful than me playing hit scan because the diva can just matrix everything and just insta kill me, and it's just I ended up meshing out really well.
There.
How is it playing hit scan in this meta? Because yeah, like you said, the demons, man, you can't do anything. Even like an Arno or like support or whatever, it's like everything gets hit. It feels really bad. So how do you feel about it?
Terrible. I hate it. I despise it. It's terrible. Please don't. He's so OP.
Spoken from the man himself, please. We need the diva nerfs. Okay, I want us to talk about the series. TSM came out pretty strong in the first map. Like, how did you guys respond to that and, bring it back around?
First map, I started to kind of realize that his game wouldn't work too strong because they just ran double flex DPS and just ran us over about how fast they can play. And then the second map was a Widow map, my one trick, so that was cake. Third map, we just kept trying it. I kind of realized Sombra was an option too, and then I think.
One last question. Yeah, no, one last question before we let you go. You guys, made a lot of roster changes, obviously. How much practice time did you actually have leading up to stage 3? How much scrim time did you actually lock in?
Like a week. 1 week. We had a week.
Oh. All right, yeah, rough. That's not a lot.
Like a last minute kind of tank and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it may have been a little bit of a dogfight here and there on a few of those maps, but it was a show you guys put on. Congrats once again on the dub. I'm going to let you go now to celebrate the victory, and we can't wait to see you guys play again.
Thank you.